everyone. I want you to welcome my guest, Nataly Fontánez. She is in Puerto Rico. Hello, Nataly.
Hello.
So, again, she's in Puerto Rico. She's here to talk to us this evening about what it's like to be vegan in Puerto Rico. So, Nataly, what I want to do, first of all, is I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to look at where you're at. There you are in Puerto Rico. Now, technically, you are part of the U.S., so it's kind of
hmm
funny because we were all the way up here in Alaska, and now we're at the other extreme down here. So we're gonna flatten that out, and you're in Guaynabo.
Woo! Welcome to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Very nice. So while we're here, what I'm going
Yes.
to do is give some information about where you're at.
hmm
Um, Puerto Rico is a Caribbean island and an unincorporated U.S. territory.
Yes.
Um, you have mountains, waterfalls, tropical rainforests, as well as casinos. And you also have centuries old fortresses.
yes.
You have a population of about 3.5 million and only 3,515 square miles.
Yes, it's a
The,
tiny island.
yeah. And the nickname is Island of Enchantment.
hmm
You also have your own Galapagos Island, which is Culebra Island. Did I say that
Culebra.
right?
Yes.
Culebra, sorry.
yes.
And you have the largest single dish radio telescope in the world. Did you know that?
I did not actually.
All right, you know that now. You also have two of the oldest churches in the Americas,
wow.
and that's in San Juan. And San Juan was the headquarters of the Inquisition.
yes.
I didn't know that. That was
I
very
did. I
interesting.
did. That one I did.
That's very interesting. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to get to you. So now what I want to do is ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of activism you're involved in.
Sure. I work a lot with AV, Anonymous for the Voiceless, and I have the chapter in Puerto Rico. So I do a lot of street activism and that kind of activism mostly.
You're the organizer there, right?
yes,
Yeah.
the only group we have on Puerto Rico until now.
And now what's funny is my co-organizer, Lynette
yeah.
Santalese, is from Puerto Rico.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So she was very thrilled that I was interviewing you. I would have had her represent Puerto Rico, but she lives here. So
okay.
that's it kind of. Do you do any other kind of activism?
It's mostly street activism, but I also do like try to dabble in any way I can, just send a message out there of animal rights. It
Sure.
can be online, it can be like protests and things like that. But my favorite, the most I focus on is definitely street activism and with, talking to people and just sharing the information and everything.
That's wonderful.
yeah.
So, where you're originally from there? Were you born and raised?
Yes, I was
That's
born and raised here. Yeah,
that's
in
great.
Guaynabo.
I'm so jealous of anybody born and raised on an island. I really am. I must have lived on an island in a past life or something because really it just calls to me. Any island, any water, beaches. I mean, I know people are going to think, well, yeah, same for me. I want to be on a beach, but I really can't explain it. Just islands, beaches, especially in any part of Latin America.
hmm
I always feel like, I don't know, a real connection. Um, but tell us, what is the culture and food like there
Well,
where you are?
it's called like the criollo.
What's it
La
called?
comida criolla. Criollo.
I want to say that right. Mequillo,
criollo.
criollo.
Yes.
Me criollo.
Perfect. Comida criolla. Yes.
Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know how to translate it actually. But it's just like the food that we eat here, like just very from here. I don't know.
Okay, okay.
and
And what would you say is unique about that?
yeah, we mix a lot of flavors, and like one of our popular foods is like rice and beans. That's like
Yeah.
our staple every single day. In any house you go, there's always rice and beans. And also lemofongo, which is like fried plantain.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yes.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they
I've
usually
heard the name mofongo before.
oh,
I, of
great.
course, know fried plantain. We love it here.
Yeah. It's very delicious.
Yes, it is.
And that's basically our food. Like those are like the Puerto Rican food, like what you see everywhere and that everybody knows.
Yeah. I lived in Chicago for a couple years, and
Yeah.
we have an area there that I lived in that was considered Little Puerto Rico. So I am familiar with the food. Um, Plantains. It's funny because
Yes.
recently, um, the rest or the sanctuary that I go to,
Mhm.
um, Wendy at the sanctuary, who owns the sanctuary, she gave me a bunch of plantains. I mean, I had plantains for days, and I wasn't complaining. I was not complaining. I love plantains,
They're
so
delicious, and
they
everyone
are.
here has like a little tree, a plantain palm, and they just grow all
Oh,
over. So like neighbors, they're always giving it to you. Eh, There's never not a plate without plantain, you know? There's always plantains.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous. So you're young, I have to say, just by looking at you, I know you're young. Can you tell us? Do you mind telling us how old you are?
Yeah, sure. I'm 24.
You're 24.
Yes.
See, I thought you were younger than that. I
I
did.
always get that, sadly.
You, hey, enjoy it while you can. Definitely enjoy it while you can. Believe me.
That's why
Uh,
they always tell me, like, yeah, I look younger, and I always say that, and they always tell me, like, no, enjoy it. But I'm like, no.
I mean this as a compliment when I say that I honestly thought you were about 17. So
Trust me, you're not the only one. They have told me that before.
yeah, don't knock that. Don't knock that.
Thank you, thank you.
But tell us, how long have you been vegan?
Since I was 15, yes.
That's
Uh,
great.
yes,
So you
because
have 9 years. 9 years being vegan now?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot, but it's also like it doesn't feel like a lot, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I have 15 years, and yeah, I kind of did it in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, well, I'm older, so time flies, you know. But you've had a chance to see how much it's changed
Yes,
uh,
definitely.
in all that time, because just the changes in the last 5 years have been
Mhm.
really incredible.
Yes.
So
It's very inspiring to see how the changes keep going and going so quickly. Like sometimes you are frustrated because it's not going quickly enough, but when
sure,
you look back and you see how we were back then, it's like, yeah, we're moving forward.
yeah, and the
Yes.
activism especially. I mean, that's really amped up.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
especially with groups like AV.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't really know um, how to get involved until right before AV. I mean, I did start getting involved with other activists right before AV, but it certainly wasn't at the level now that I'm doing now with AV.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible. So tell us, what made you become vegan at 15? What happened?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I was always, 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 I considered myself to be an animal lover. So any animal that I saw, I would automatically be attracted to, like, ah, I need to see it, I need to pet it, I need to help it. And I never really did that connection between my habits and what I was eating, what I was supporting, to, everything, the animal cruelty, how they live, what they go through. I really
Sure.
didn't realize what I was doing and the harm that I was doing.
I think a
So,
lot of us went through that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was
I mean,
very shocking to me.
I always considered myself an animal lover,
Mhm.
and I was even got involved working with dogs right before I became vegan,
Yeah.
and I thought, I thought I loved animals. I didn't
Mhm.
realize what was going on.
Exactly.
a lot of people, it's ignorance. Now,
Yes.
you and I both know that over the years, it's less and less excuse because
Yeah.
really, with all the technology and
Mm-hmm.
social media, it's exposed. It is
Yes.
totally out there for people to see. And if they're not seeing it, it's because they don't want to,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's more it's better now because we got to see, and there's always exposés of this industry, this, it's very out there right now, and that's
Yeah.
very good for animals, and for people to realize what they're doing, because like me, I really did not realize, and if I had seen that sooner, I would have changed a lot sooner, and that would have been better for animals. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So for me, it was actually um, there was like a presentation in school, and they were giving like, it was a PETA video of animal testing and what they animals went through in animal testing, which I, before seeing that video, I had no idea that animal testing was a thing. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah.
And after seeing that video, it really, really shocked me. And I just couldn't believe that, people did this, and that was acceptable and legal.
Yeah.
It
It's
was
pretty
horrible.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ever since that moment, like, I just started questioning, and I didn't change that second because I didn't know the other stuff. I just knew the animal testing
Yeah.
bit.
You just thought about cosmetics after that. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was actually not cosmetics. It was for Mars candy. It was very specific.
Oh, I remember that. I was
Yeah.
shocked by that too.
Yes. It was that video. So I
Yeah.
stopped consuming the Mars candy. But I
I couldn't
didn't
believe
knew
that. It
the
was like for
rest.
candy.
Yeah. It's so stupid, like what they do to animals for like a candy. But yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, like a few years went by, I stopped consuming that. But I thought I was doing the best. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not abusing animals. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't consume that, so I'm okay. But it was actually in when I was in ninth grade, which we had like this tiny event in Valentine's Day. I don't know if any other school is like that, but we give out candy to our classmates and to everyone around. And yeah, okay. So we had that. And my friends were asking me if they should buy the candy, if they stopped testing on animals or if they were continuing, because if they were still testing on animals, they weren't going to buy it.
So your friends were all thinking about it too.
Yeah, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
mostly because we saw the video and it was very impactful for all of us. Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, so after that, I went to the site, which was the PETA site. And I was looking for that video to see what had happened to that company and everything. But what I found, it was everything, like animal abuse, like in different industries, the milk industry, how they stole the babies away,
Yeah.
like the meat industry, how they die, how they suffer, their cries, and like obviously the egg industry, the entertainment industry, the clothing industry. It was everything, like just in my face. So it was
Like
really,
bam, it's
yes,
everywhere.
yes, 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 definitely. I just remember that day sitting on the sofa and watching that, and my tears just went like, it was horrible. It
Were
was
you
truly
you
horrible.
feel overwhelmed, or did you feel like I've got to stop contributing to this?
Both.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I'm laughing, but it wasn't funny.
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
it was really shocking.
Yeah.
And since I really never questioned that before and had never seen it, I was just in shock. I couldn't believe it. I obviously didn't want to support it, but I also said like, this can't be. Not every company has to be like that, or maybe there's a kind way to do it. Like, it's impossible that things like this happen and they just happen.
Well, it's the
Uh,
thing of horror films, and you just can't believe this is reality.
exactly. Exactly.
Actually, horror films have nothing on this.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Definitely.
but I
Yep.
mean, so yeah, you just sat down, absorbed it, and came up with a plan?
Yeah, after that, I just started questioning and look for different sites, different information because I said, okay, maybe this site is just saying that, but maybe that's not true. But
Yeah,
every site I went and every video I saw, it was horrible. And I just kept getting the same thing because that's the reality. Like, there's no way to put it other
yeah.
than that. So I just decided, like, no, I can't keep doing this. I just went vegan overnight, and that's about it.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
And so, you being so young at the time, how did your family take this?
Oh, they totally thought I was crazy
Yeah.
because I was very also, like I said, I was animal lover, but I was very like into meat. My favorite food was like ribs and burgers, and
Oh, yeah.
I was like the opposite,
Oh,
of
I was
like
the same
a
way
vegan.
before. I used to like consider myself a wonderful cook. I'd cook
Mhm.
fish with the eyeballs in. I don't know how I didn't make the connection there.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped steak, stuff like that,
Mhm.
or lobster lobster dish. Of course, I never had the guts to boil a live lobster, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I understand what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I loved meat. I didn't quit because I didn't like meat.
Exactly.
you know.
I think nobody does. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't quit for that reason.
Mhm.
Um. So how? All right. So I already asked you, are your family or friends vegan now? I mean, I already asked you about how they felt when you first went vegan at 15.
Yeah.
But that's been a while now.
Yes.
So have they caught up? What do they think?
Yeah, definitely. They just started asking questions, first of all, because I was very determined. They at first didn't really want to let me, be vegan because they didn't know it was safe. They didn't know what was going on. It was very sudden. But I was like, no, this isn't food. This is horrible. I'm not supporting this. I don't care. I can go hungry, but I'm not eating that.
I'll just eat the plantains.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you have rice and beans too. I mean, how hard could it be?
Yeah. Well, sadly, they sometimes you use like
Lard
little,
and
yeah, and
yeah,
little pieces of pig, and it's horrible. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very easy to veganize, but I don't know why sometimes they don't.
I know. And then once you become vegan, you start looking at these things, and you're like, you never questioned that there was lard in the
Yeah,
refried beans, but you're like, why is there lard in the
exactly.
refried beans? Why? What's
Yes, it
wrong with
makes
the
no sense.
What's wrong with the beans without pig
Yes.
flesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to question all these things that you just never thought about before, and
Yeah,
you're like, and you start to realize how many things have animal ingredients in them. It's so unnecessary,
definitely.
you know.
Definitely.
So go
Yes.
ahead. So 9 years has gone on. You've stuck with this.
Mm-hmm.
You've become an activist. So what do your
Yes.
friends and family think now? Are they on board with it? Has anybody become vegan with you?
Yeah. Well, with the questioning that they gave me, like just asking questions and questions and questions, I just kept answering and looking for information for the things I didn't know. And by answering them, they just understood and they said, like, yeah, that makes totally sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to continue with supporting this horrible industry when you have this awesome alternative that causes no harm.
Yeah.
So now my brother is vegan, my mother is vegan, my father is kinda, it's
Yeah.
plant-based, but we're getting him in there.
I think that's a machismo thing, maybe in
Yeah,
the culture too. I'm not going to
could
say
be.
it's just in the Latin culture, but because it's an American thing, or I think it's
Yeah,
everywhere actually. But
we're trying. And
that's great.
my friends are still not vegan, most of them. The ones that I obviously met through activism, well,
Sure,
obviously they're vegan,
sure.
but the ones before that, they're kinda, they understand and they know that it's an injustice, but they don't really, they haven't acted upon it. They understand it's wrong, but they haven't stopped supporting it.
they're too lazy, maybe.
I don't know,
Well, if they're
honestly.
young, I remember when I was young, I don't know if it would have taken hold. I mean, I wasn't exposed to it. I didn't know
Yeah.
until I was 36.
Yeah.
And
I think
nobody
they
really
haven't
talked about it
yeah.
back then.
And
But
I
I
think they haven't seen the videos and haven't been exposed to that because I obviously I'm very outspoken, so I speak about it, but they've never seen it with their own eyes. And I think that is very different when you see the victims and see the tears and the
sure.
screams, and it's very impactful because you
Have you ever
actually,
tried to do like online outreach with them? You know that AV was doing the
yeah,
quarantine of truth.
I
Maybe
haven't yet,
you should
but
maybe
yeah.
try that. I did once. I did it once. It
How
was
did it
hard for
go?
me to find anybody. I found somebody from work
Okay.
that was willing to watch, but or maybe I don't know, show Dominion or something at
Yeah.
a cafe.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have vegan cafes there?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
not kinda. But
yeah.
yeah, we do.
Do you have any fully vegan cafes? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
okay. I was gonna say maybe they'd be willing to uh, sh- let you do a showing or something. I don't know.
That
I
would be
wouldn't know.
interesting. Yeah.
Just
That's
an
a great
idea.
idea. Yeah.
Just an
Thank you.
idea.
Yeah.
But so would you say it's easy or hard to be vegan where you live?
Well,
Both.
as if you focus on the victims, it's always easy to be vegan. But right now, like it depends on what you really define as easy or hard or anything, because like it's the easiest thing to just go to the supermarket and not pick animal products. It's very easy, especially when you know that that decision is harming someone. So it's not like just
And you did
food
your
that you get.
research too. So
Exactly.
that's all
Yeah,
you got to do is go online and do your research. For all the hours
exactly.
that we spend on social media, we could easily be Googling something,
Yeah,
you know? And that's what it was like for me. I was just, when I started to learn a little bit, I was hungry to learn more.
definitely. Same
And
for me.
yeah. And where I was a little isolated. So I didn't necessarily know the right keywords and stuff at the time. Now it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy though. It's everywhere. I wasn't exposed as much. There wasn't as much information at the
Mm-hmm.
time. Um, but it got easier and easier, you know. And
Yeah,
it's funny that you say, if you know if you look at it through the eyes of the victim, it's easy
definitely.
because that's what any vegan that I've talked to anywhere, no matter how remote the area, that's what they've said. If you understand the point of view of the victim, it's easy.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the way people got to see it. Um, I think people just, they hold on to tradition, convenience, you know.
Yeah, what they're used to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's easier to just like ignore and watch your TikTok videos and
Yeah.
so but what would you say, Kate? So what are the struggles then? What are your struggles? You told us a little bit, but what are the real struggles of being vegan for you as a vegan? What would be your struggles?
I would say dealing with people who just don't understand and are not willing to expose themselves to the truth. Because the rest is very easy. The
Yeah.
food is super easy because people often see that and it's like, oh my God, you don't eat this and you don't eat that. And it's like, no, there's an alternative for everything. So it's very easy, that part. The hard part is dealing with people and dealing with the non-vegan world, and you're just seeing like the cruelty and things that go on, and people just like they don't want to know. They try to not see the truth, and I think that's the difficult part.
Yeah, there's the analogy, and I'm not going to get it completely correct, but there's the analogy of like being vegan is like there's a raging river and you're pulling animals, drowning animals out, and your family and friends are behind you throwing them back in. That's what it feels
Yeah,
like being a vegan.
definitely. And it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking sometimes
It
because
is.
it's people that you really care about, but they just
Yeah.
don't really want to see it and don't
Yeah.
really want to accept it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like it's so easy. They worry about like what am I going to eat? Well, what do you've been eating beans and rice and plantain.
Exactly.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. I even had people that told me like, "No, but you can't eat anything. I've never had vegan food." I'm like, just, "Have you never had rice and beans or
Yeah,
an apple?
exactly.
What are you eating?"
Yeah,
And they're like,
it's,
"Oh, I didn't knew that was vegan." And I'm like, "Yeah."
you didn't know that didn't have animals in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop eating it now. That's so funny. I know. And it's just kind of like, I remember one time we were doing a cube on campus. I live right next to the college. And we had these two big guys come up, and I'm talking to them, and one of the guys is like, "Well, I can't do that because I do so many sports, and I need my protein."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really? How much protein are you getting right now?" And he's like, "Uh, like 250 grams a day." I said, "No, you're not. You would have to eat a steak like, all like every hour." And his friend even stopped and looked at him and said, "Dude, no, you're not."
Yeah, they just don't know, and they
Yeah,
just
I'm like,
assume
nobody
that,
even
yeah.
thinks about their protein
Yeah.
until you talk to them about not eating animals.
Exactly.
They have no idea how much protein they're getting while
Yeah.
they're like stuffing their face with McDonald's.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you talk about veganism and they're like, "Oh, I gotta have my protein."
Yeah.
Dude, you you looks like you got more beer in your belly than you got protein. It's like I shouldn't talk because I got a beer belly. But I know I'm getting enough protein. Yeah, some of the excuses we hear, it's hard, but it's good to laugh with a fellow vegan about it
Yeah.
because if you don't laugh, you're just gonna cry,
Yes.
seriously. All right, so tell us, you're saying it's easy. Of course, it's easy if you want to, if you, commit to it. If you know what you're doing, if you look up the information, it's easy.
Yeah.
But how do people to eat vegan? That is, but
Okay.
how do people view animal rights where you live?
Uh,
I mean, it
eh.
sounds like you have a lot of people who believe that they're animal lovers, just like
Mhm.
anywhere else. But when you bring up the subject of animal rights,
Mhm.
what do
Well,
they say?
it depends on where you're talking, because in street activism, it's very interesting because we don't have much activism here in Puerto Rico. It's very, very limited the groups that we have. We have one that is mostly focused on closing the Mayagüez Zoo, which is a zoo that has been closed since 2017, and the
What?
animals just keep dying and they're trapped inside. It's
Wait,
horrible.
wait, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. All
Yeah,
right. I hate zoos.
definitely.
And my first protest that I ever put together before I became part of AV
Hmm.
was a zoo protest. And it's right down the street from me. So tell me what's going on. I don't know anything about this. And maybe the listeners who are watching this right now don't know. Please tell me what's going on because we need to know.
Yeah, well, it's the zoo that we have in Mayagüez, which is a city, and it has been closed since 2017.
It has been closed.
Yes, but the
And there's
animals are
still
still
animals in
inside.
there.
Yes, and they're dying and they're in terrible conditions, but the government just doesn't want to let them go. So we're protesting so they can go to sanctuaries and, places that they can actually have a good life and thrive, but they just don't want to.
Who's caring for them?
They it's mostly the government, but it's
What
terrible.
can you
Like,
expect from government employees? Come on.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah, it's
God.
heartbreaking.
Why are they holding on to them? Why do they not want to let them go?
We don't know. They just haven't responded, and they're actually a group that is trying to keep it open. It's horrible. It doesn't make any sense.
So nobody's allowed in, but they're trying to keep it open. How? And the government's
Yes.
paying for
Yeah.
the care, the
Yeah.
minimal care. Sounds like.
Yes, exactly. And we're saying like we don't the Puerto Rico is in debt, so it doesn't have much money to keep spending. And they limit it, and the animals like are horrible conditions. The people that had actually gone in there, because that's another thing, they don't let you go in to even see the conditions or anything. So the photos that come out is just from them, the pretty pictures and everything. And we have gotten a few pictures which show horrible conditions and the animals that keep dying, no reports. It's just a mess. Yeah.
I'm I'm so fuming right now.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
it
have.
has been going on for years.
Well, I'm upset that I haven't even heard about this. Um, I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Maybe people out there they're watching. They're going, "What the hell, Stacy? Why didn't you know about this?" I don't know why I didn't know about this. If you could send me information on that, I'd appreciate it. That
Definitely.
really is really horrible and upsetting.
Yeah.
And wow, I just more power to the group that's working against that.
Yeah.
With the animal rights, you say you have a group there. So we were talking about how people view animal rights. Do they get a lot of? You say you have a group that's trying to keep the animals there.
Yeah.
Are they big,
Eh,
or is it
Like,
just?
it has a lot
I
of
mean, what's their
followers.
reasons? Do they say their reasons?
They tried to make it out to be like, no, this is an educational place for the people who study at the university of
So
the
like
public
a lab,
university,
like an open air lab, is what they're trying to call it. Or
basically.
what it
Yeah.
basically
Hmm.
is.
But it's, even though like it's closed, obviously, even if it was open, like animals shouldn't be there. Like,
Yeah, it's not educational
no
anyway. You're
animal
not
should
going to
be in
learn anything
captivity.
about an animal in a
Exactly.
cage.
Yeah. But like the fact is that it's closed, so not even that excuse, like they can't use it. It's
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense.
So, what about the group that's opposing it wants to free the animals or get them to sanctuaries? Are they very active? Are they big?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Definitely. And we have a lot of people who are like speaking out more and posting things online and also holding protests, so that people can know about this and talk about it and just like get the government, involved and not ignoring us.
But any information you give me, I'll share
Definitely. I'll
too.
send you like the group that's organizing all of this and sending out the information.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's very upsetting.
Yeah.
All right. So, with the activism you do, you say you. I was going to ask you what your favorite form of activism is. You're just saying street activism. As long as you're out there talking to people on the streets,
Yes, definitely is my
that's great.
favorite because you get to see like the click on people.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
that's something I really, really enjoy, just seeing the change and people just because here in Puerto Rico, since we don't have many groups that focus on animal rights, people really, really value that. And they just see it and thank us, for showing that footage, for teaching them about this. Because it's like us when we first went vegan. Like we're just in shock and we're like, how did I not knew this sooner?
Yeah.
So people are very thankful. We don't
Some
really
people
get,
kill the messenger, and then there's the people that go vegan that thank the messenger and get mad at being indoctrinated all their lives,
yeah.
at the people who lied to them all their lives,
Mm-hmm.
and decide
Definitely.
to open their eyes and make their own decisions. What
Mm-hmm.
about the tourists? Are they shocked by it? I know you're a big tourist area. Do you get on? You're pretty close to the beach, in San Juan, right?
Yeah.
So do you go down there and do your cubes down there?
Yeah, we usually do it on El Morro, which is a
Okay.
little bit up. It's not really on the beach, but
Okay.
it's by the Bay Area.
Okay. And you get a
But
lot of tourists there still, though,
yes,
right?
yes. We
And
love that area because of it, because we get a lot of foot traffic and locals and tourists, both.
do you find that you have an easier or harder time with the tourists as compared to the locals? Which one do you think is easier to talk to?
It depends on the person, but I think usually the tourists are a little bit trickier because just for the fact that they see this and they think it's something that's only local. and they say like, no, but maybe in my place it doesn't happen, or the animals are not treated that way. So it's like that little detail, that we sometimes have to correct and just say like, no, this is an industry standard, so it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Like, you think we're just showing local footage?
Exactly, exactly.
You think we have these huge industrial farms here?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
when I was in Mexico City, I did their national cube, huge because they have, Mexico City has a huge tourist area.
yeah,
And they have a huge population anyway. And yeah, you get that from whether they're local or they're from another country. They always want to say this
definitely.
doesn't happen here, no matter who they are. It happens here in Ohio where I live. This
Mm-hmm.
doesn't happen here.
Yeah,
This is everywhere. It's standard industry practice.
exactly.
So let me ask you, if a vegan visits where you live, where should they go? That doesn't have to be a restaurant, by the way. And then what is your favorite vegan dish they should try, and how can they get involved with the local vegan community?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, is
There
that too many questions at once? Maybe I'll make them longer. Let's start with where should they go?
Okay, well, there are plenty of vegan restaurants, luckily. We
Okay.
have Con Greca, which is a vegan restaurant for in Bayamón, which is close to Guaynabo. It's the
Okay.
next city.
Okay.
And also Body Vegan, it's good. Um, I don't know, there's so many and they're all so good.
Well, it doesn't have to be a restaurant either. Is there any other places? Do you have sanctuaries there at all, or is there any? No. Well, it's a
Sadly,
small
no
area.
sanctuary. Yeah.
Sure. But is there any other places that you think they should go besides
Um,
restaurants?
well, definitely you're welcome to go to a cube, to a protest, fighting for animal rights.
Yep. And how
Those
would
are
they
the
get
two main.
involved with? How would they get involved with you, or anybody else, even the zoo protesters?
Yes.
You're going to give me
Um,
links that I can share for that.
definitely. I will give you links of the groups.
And I
And
guess I shouldn't ask you how they should get involved with AV because I'm a regional organizer. But go ahead and tell us. Go ahead and tell us.
they can join our group, which is the only group right now in Puerto Rico. And we do like the Cubes of Truth in many different areas. We can just do it in any pueblo, in every city. So if they are staying in San Juan, we usually do one there, which is the most touristy area. And yeah, just see what's up, see what's happening.
And they can find you at anonymousforthevoiceless.org, and they can look up your area and find
Yes.
find your chapter,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So I also asked what's your favorite vegan dish that they should try?
I can't pick just one.
That's okay. That's okay. Give us a
I'm
couple.
very much of a foodie, so I love food.
Yeah. Why don't you give us one that is traditionally vegan and
Okay.
give us one that can be easily veganized that's traditional to your area?
Mm. Well, of course, like if you're a tourist, maybe you would like to try something very local. So maybe if you go to Congreca, which is the first vegan restaurant that I mentioned, they're
Yep.
very into the criollo style, very into like the rice and beans, the mofongo, and everything very Puerto Rican.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally I want to ask you, where would you like to visit one day and learn about veganism there? Have you traveled?
Yes, I have. I have been lucky enough to.
Where do you
But
travel to, by the way?
I've been to uh very different places. Like the United States, I've been into a few states.
Have you ever been to Chicago? Where I lived was Humboldt Park. That's the little
Mm,
Puerto Rico area.
I don't think I have actually.
Okay, if you get a chance, go there. You'll like it.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. So, where would you like to go that you haven't been and learn about veganism there? Then.
There's a lot of places. Like I would love to go to the UK where they have like this big activism groups and
Yep.
everything.
They have a
I
lot
just
of them.
find it so inspiring, yeah, to be among so many people that care about animal rights.
For anybody out there who's watching this, by the way, if I have some UK friends on YouTube, if they're offended that I have not interviewed anybody in the UK yet, it's because I'm trying to find places that people don't necessarily think it's easy to be vegan in, and we know it's easy to be vegan in the UK. So that's why I haven't interviewed anybody from the UK yet. So, but yeah, I understand that. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of great activists there,
Yes.
and
Another
sounds like they
place
have,
that I really want to go is to the ALC, the Animal Liberation Conference in
that's
Berkeley.
coming up.
Oh, I really want to go.
What's stopping you?
The money wise.
What is it? The entrance fee, or is it the flight, or what is it?
Yeah, everything. I have to save up for it, and I
Yeah.
haven't. But I
So
definitely want to go.
so if somebody paid your entrance fee, would you go? Would you be able to go?
I don't think so, honestly, because I
No.
don't have enough for the flight and the stay and everything.
Oh,
So
come on. The flight isn't that much, is it, from Puerto Rico?
I don't think it is. I just don't have enough savings.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted my Lynette asked me if I wanted to go.
And
And
are
I
you?
told her, I said I would love to go, but yeah, money's an aspect, but it's not really that expensive. The entrance fee isn't that expensive, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
the flight and the accommodations is something I have
Yeah.
to consider. But also, I haven't been on a vacation in 2 years, and I need to go to Mexico. And I was gonna, well, I have to. That's where my dentist is.
Okay.
So I haven't been there, and my tooth is chipped. I can't. This is a reflection, so I can't tell. There it is. It's chipped, and I need to go see him. And I need to get back there. And I was going to go in October, and it's been 2 years, and so that's like a month after ALC, and it's like my boss would have a fit if I took 2 weeks off in Mexico and a week off for a month before. They'd be like, "No, don't ever come back." So I know
Hopefully
how
we'll
you.
able to go next year.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying every year. It's like I only get one vacation a year, and I haven't had one in 2 years because of the pandemic. But so it's like I've got to really,
Yeah.
choose where I'm going. Unfortunately. Yeah, and money. Money's a thing. I know.
Yeah.
I understand. So you really want to go to California? You want to,
Yeah.
and you want to go to the UK?
I'm
Come on,
mostly
you gotta.
interested in the activism.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. So anyway, that was really all my questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, you want to say about being vegan in Puerto Rico?
I don't know. I think that's it. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for having me. Yeah.
it was a blast. I'm so happy to meet you.
Same. Thank
And I
you.
am so very happy that you are an organizer representing AV. It sounds like you're very passionate
I
and
am.
you are very knowledgeable. You've been a vegan for 9 years. So,
Thank you.
I would love, if I ever get a chance, I know that Lynette goes down there quite often. And maybe I will come along next time and
Yes.
join you. So I know that
Definitely.
she's taken care of a lot of family issues when she's gone
Mhm.
down there. So I don't know if she's had a chance to join you for a cube, but never know. Maybe I'll take a little weekend with her. Come down there. It's really not that far away.
Yeah,
So
we would love to have you here.
I would love to meet you in person. Nataly, thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you so much. So I know we're on the same time, which is really weird for me when I'm doing these interviews across the world. So
Yeah.
it's been really awesome. So I'll go ahead and let you go.
Okay.
And hopefully we will keep in touch. Send me those links, okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
And for anybody watching, all the links, and all the links are going to be below the video.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you so much to
Thank you,
you and
Nataly.
everyone who's watching.
You have a great night, okay?
Same, thank you.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right, well, thank you, Nataly. So that was wonderful. Oh God, she's so much fun. She's a great person, and that's really impressive that she's still so young. If you heard that groaning, that's my dog. Thank you for that. It's so impressive how young she is and how much experience and knowledge she has behind her at her young age. And it really makes me optimistic to talk to people like that. I really do want to go to Puerto Rico now. Lynette, if you're watching this, you might have me tagging along next time. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you want to know who my next guest is, well, show up next Wednesday. Love ya. Bye.